Welcome to another podcast of Mad in Love. If you're new here, I'm Dr. David Hawkins from the Marriage Recovery Center. You may be familiar with some of our podcasts that we've done where we do Dr. Hawkins Reacts, which we're going to do again today. We've invited our producer, Katie Buckley, to join us and Jonathan to help share some posts that she's found. So, Jonathan, you get to be in the hot seat with me today. Are you ready? So this is kind of cool. You and I both are going to respond to Katie. So are we ready?
Ready as I can be.
My husband and I invited my sister-in-law and niece to our child's birthday party on Saturday. We also informed her that we are newly pregnant again and mentioned that we had not told my in-laws yet. We assumed she would be excited to be an aunt again. She initially agreed, but my husband and I both noticed a tone change on the phone. We both assumed she had been annoyed at her little one since she couldn't hear and they were trying to shop. Later that evening, she texts my husband and says that she isn't coming to the party. He asks why. She states that we had struggled to help her out with her child and having her a few times a week. But now that we're having a whole new baby that we need to take care of 24/7, and that she is hurt and she needs some space and time. Of course, I personally cannot leave this be and let her know her comments were selfish and did not depict the entire picture, since we have repeatedly cared for her child on numerous occasions, sometimes with no notice. We have also cared for her animals. It has been very clear logistically I can't drop ours off and hers on two sides, different sides of the town. And kind of goes on a little bit more about what she said before. She snapped at my husband over a text. She was angry he had told her what she had said, or told me what she had said. My husband explained to her that I asked why and that he did not lie to me, so he told me what was going on. He then had a bad feeling at that point and called my mother-in-law, only to find out that my sister-in-law had called, told her we are pregnant. My husband is livid that she told my in-laws about a pregnancy before we could. We're planning on an announcement in a cute way, and she stole that from us. Am I the a-hole for saying something to my sister-in-law to spark off this craziness? Should I have let it be?
So much to react to.
Oh, yeah.
My first reaction to the question, you're not the a-hole, but there's a way to talk about all this kind of stuff. So for her to jump out and say, you're selfish, you're this, you're that, you're this, you're that, that's that opinionating that I talked about previously. And that's not going to solve anything. So I wouldn't say either extreme. I don't think you just let it be. And I don't think you just spout off, shoot from the hip. That's only going to, we're all responsible for our reaction. And I think there's a principle, and I'll stop with this. There's a principle that let's not make matters worse. That's my responsibility as I walk through life. No matter how Christy approaches me, how Jonathan, Katie, how you, whatever, whoever approaches me, I have a responsibility to respond effectively. Not always easy to do when I've got a lot of emotion going on, but I don't spout off. If I spout off, that's on me that I've made matters worse. So I don't think she should let it be, and I don't think she should spout off. Jonathan.
I agree. As I was listening to that, I heard a number of thinking errors that were, it sounds like, being said out loud. So the mind reading and the labeling. Yeah, absolutely. What's interesting is, not knowing where the post was going, there was a lot of lead into the story, and it sounded like a lot of defensiveness and justification and sort of trying to build up a case for why, like, all of the good things that they've done and what they've really gone out of the way to take care of all the dogs and all the cats and all the driving and all this. And usually when I hear that level of sort of, let me present my evidence here, it's because the individual feels like they need to defend their boundaries. And listen, you don't need to defend your boundaries. If you tried it one time and it wasn't for you and you don't want to do it again, that's fine. You don't have to argue that to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do a takeoff on what you just said. This happens so frequently in our counseling where I'm just going to amplify what you just said, Jonathan. Somebody will build a case. They will get on their high horse and you can hear it. You can feel it like, I can't believe that they, you wouldn't believe what they did. They were, it's unconscionable the way they need to, and all of this self-righteousness. And like at some point in time, I go like, hey, get off your high horse. Come on, come on, come on. You can talk in a vulnerable way. You can tell me that you feel hurt. You can tell me you feel threatened. You can tell me that you're really irritated, but come on, don't get on this like, yeah, it's unbelievable the way they would treat me. And that's what I heard in so much of this story. Self-righteousness, and it doesn't play. It won't play. So she will be making matters worse with the sister-in-law and the sister. All of them are making matters worse.
Yeah. Going off on a narcissistic tangent, or a narcissism tangent, I think the reason why a lot of the women that we work with are conditioned into that type of response, this defensiveness and having to plead their case, is because their husbands' reactions are so defensive, and
Provocative.
they deny everything. And then even when they go to their friends or family or clergy to say, here's what I think is going on, a lot of times they have been told, your needs are not important. What you're seeing, you're not seeing. What is happening is not happening. You're making too big of a deal about this. You're too emotional. So I understand where that comes from. But I also want to say, if you do not feel safe, if you do not feel secure, and if your needs are not being met, that's valid. You are the only one that gets to determine what your needs are. You are the only one that really can say if you feel safe or if you feel secure. That is yours. And so that's it. Clients get so sick of me saying this. It's a dialectic. Both of those things are true at the same time. I understand where it comes from, though.
There was a famous clinician, John Bradshaw, 25 years ago, Jonathan, and he made this statement. I'd love your reaction to it. He said, never, never, never defend yourself. Because when you do, you are caught in a shame bind. In other words, the man says to her, you're always, I don't even think you're being faithful to me. I don't think you're thising. I think you're lying to me. I think you make things and oh, no, I'm not lying. No, I'm not cheating. No, I'm not overspending. No. And the minute she does it, according to John Bradshaw, and I agree with John Bradshaw, he says, when we defend ourselves, and don't get ridiculous with it. I mean, if if you didn't take $50 out of your husband's wallet, you can say, I didn't take it. I didn't. But as a general principle, I agree with John Bradshaw. When she or he gets caught in a defensive posture, they are caught in a shame bind. They're trying to rid themselves of a bad feeling, and it won't work. It won't work because, no, I didn't cheat. Oh, yes, you did. I didn't lie. Yes, you did. I didn't. It doesn't work. Do you agree with John Bradshaw? Never defend yourself. It's a radical concept.
Yeah. I like that. Jill, who also works at MRC, she often says that defensiveness is a very immature response. And the only reason why you should be defending yourself is if you are literally on the battlefield defending your life. Or she says sports. I think as a joke.
Well, if you're not defending yourself, how do you react in that situation? Because I know that it's easy to get into defensive mode. So, what's the healthy way to react to that?
Yeah, the healthy, what I said earlier today, there's a situation I'm involved in, and I am counseling this couple to effectively problem solve with each other. That if we don't come together in an agreeable way, where we're influencing each other and we're talking about a specific problem, sharing our, these are lots of little rules of engagement, but I'm not, I wrote a book 15 years ago called Never Fight Again Guaranteed. It's a little bit of a robust promise, but anyway, you don't defend yourself. So if you want to talk, Jonathan, if you got a bone to pick with me, you can come to me and you can say, I've got an issue to talk to you about, and we can talk about it in a balanced way. But if you come at me, I hope to heavens that I have enough self-discipline to say, Jonathan, I'm not going to talk about this with you in this way. If you want to tell me that here's
Yeah.
the specific problem and here's your feelings about it and here's what you're asking of me, all day long, but not in an accusatory, shame-based, provocative way. So,
Also, when you are defending yourself, you are focused on the offender or the perpetrator, and you are also focused on the problem.
Okay.
And then the conversation stays there, and the offender says yes or no. I do not agree with that. I didn't do it for that reason and whatever. And it misses the whole point. And the whole point being, were you safe? Were your needs being met? And that ultimately is what you want to bring forward, to say, this is what I just experienced. This is my feelings about it. This is what I need.
Mm.
I love that. And I'm going to do a kind of a promotional here for a second. It's so exciting what we do, Jonathan. We're inviting all of these people that we've talked about today. We're inviting them into a healthy relationship. There is a better way. There's a better way to talk about these problems. There's a better way we can solve problems. I think couples they can deal with an issue, talk about it respectfully and responsibly, and in 7.5 minutes, get beyond it and then get on to having fun. But if you talk about it in a horrible way where you're accusatory, shaming, blaming, opinionating, poor boundaries, all that junk, you're going to fight about it forever and ever and ever. Amen. So
Mm-hmm.
you do join me here, don't you, Jonathan? We're inviting people into a better way that is much more effective and much healthier. I'm reminded of an article that I read 15 years ago by Martha Beck. And Martha Beck said this, as I recall, you know exactly what you need to do.
Hmm.
You know exactly what you need to do. I'll echo it for you. To your point, Jonathan, if this woman slows down, thinks about her needs, thinks about her integrity, meaning her at oneness, and she's going like, I'm not at one, I'm not at peace, I'm not at peace. Right, you're not. Yeah, no, I'm doing stuff I don't want to do. Right, you are. I'm giving in to him that I don't. Yes, you are. That's right. That's right. That's right. Oh, and I want my life back. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And tell me exactly, and I might even say this to her, tell me exactly what you want. I think you know it. So I thought it was profound, the article, Martha Beck, you know exactly what you need to do. You maybe need me or Jonathan to echo it for you. We can validate it, resonate it, but your body and your mind are saying, I am not at peace. I am not happy.
And a lot of
Wow.
the helplessness and frustration and maybe even anger and resentment that comes from that situation, that's all what we call justified anger. That those emotions,
Yeah.
yeah, that's like you said, yes, that is what you're experiencing, and let's talk about that, and talk about how that emotion has fueled certain patterns or certain behaviors for you.
What a robust conversation. I always learn something here, which is kind of cool. I'll keep showing up, Jonathan. All right. Thank you so much, Jonathan and Katie, for being with us today. This has been really exciting. I'm sure people are gonna really appreciate some of the concepts that we unpacked. As always, if any of this resonates with you, please know we are available to help. You can learn more about Jonathan Glover and the work that he does, and by visiting our website at www.marriagerecoverycenter.com. And if you enjoyed today's show, please give it a 5-star rating and be sure to subscribe to our channel to be notified of new episodes. Thanks for tuning in, and we will talk again soon. Take care. God bless.